An obese genius doctor invents a DC Mini device with a kid's mind. The device is stolen by an unknown thief who uses it to control human dreams. A fight spurs between the inventors and the thief. Who would win this fight of technology? Watch out and take care. A psychiatrist hospital invents a new device called the DC Mini. The invention aims to treat people with mental health conditions by invading their dreams. This device allows the doctors to view their patients' dreams and treat them according to them. At the movie's beginning, the doctor of the institution, Dr. Atsuko Chiba, uses the device to treat an outside patient with a recurring dream. The patient is Detective Konakawa. Chiba does this by adopting her alter ego, which she named Paprika. After Paprika treats Konakawa, she gives Konakawa a card that has the name of their website. She returns to her main personality. Chiba prepares for work the following day. As she leaves her house, she meets the obese inventor of the device, a genius named Dr. Kosaku Tokita. Tokita tells her DC Mini has been stolen and all the samples he is working on are also missing. Disturbed, they call their chief, Dr. Totaro Shima, to report the situation. Shima orders them to meet him in his office immediately before the hospital director, Dr. Seijiro Inui, who hates the invention, gets notified that the device is missing. As they enter Shima's office, they are shocked that Inui is already in the office. Inui disapproves of the device and complains that the human dream should never be invaded. The device has no restrictions and anyone can be a victim of a dream invasion if the device gets into the wrong hands. Tokita insists that the thief hasn't misused the device, but they have to arrest him before he does so. As they all talk about this, Shima starts behaving irrationally. He attempts to jump through the window and he is taken for treatment. While treating Shima, the team checks his dream. In Shima's dream, they find Himuro, Tokita's assistant. They realize the stealing job was an inside job and Himuro is the thief. The team drives their car immediately into Himuro's house. Tokita breaks the door and they gain entrance into the room. They check different areas of the house. As Chiba checks, she finds a door and sees Himuro entering the room. Her alter ego Paprika warns her not to enter, but she insists she would. She follows Himuro into a new phase. As she attempts to grab Himuro, she realizes she is on the house's balcony and on the verge of jumping down the house. One of her colleagues, Osanai, drags her back and they go into a restaurant to eat. At the restaurant, they get a call that Himuro is carrying a dream truck into a field. Chiba changes into Paprika and enters the dream. She attacks Himuro and brings Dr. Shima back. Shima comes back alive and talks with Chiba. He tells Chiba he has to do something about the thief. Still, Chiba tells him to remain in the hospital because Inui is trying to call a board meeting to stop the usage of DC Mini, but if a board member is hospitalized, he won't be able to call the meeting. While they are there, Konakawa calls Shima. He appreciates Shima for introducing him to Paprika and says that therapy was the best he had in his life. He asks about Paprika, but Shima tells him Paprika is a secret weapon. At work, Konakawa logs into the website Paprika gives him. He finds himself in a dream bar with some attendants and Paprika. After a few drinks, Paprika suggests they watch a movie at the cinema, which Konakawa reluctantly accepts. At the hospital, two patients have started behaving irrationally again due to the use of DC Mini. Inui is determined to stop using it altogether. He tells Chiba this, but she refuses. As Chiba walks away from Inui's office, she bumps into Osanai in front of Tokita's office. When Tokita removes his lab coat, Chiba sees a cartoon in Himuro's dream. She asks Tokita about the cartoon and is informed that it is Tokita's best location, and he tells Himuro about it. As they get to the playground, Himuro wakes from his dream and jumps to death. The DC Mini shows out from inside his brain. Himuro is taken to the hospital where they remove this device from his brain. Konakawa comes to the hospital to interrogate the doctors. As he sees Chiba, he recognizes her to be Paprika. After the meeting, he asks Shima about this, but Shima doesn't give him a response. Following all the evils the DC Mini thief has done, Chiba concludes the two pieces of the device left outside may be harmful. She tells Osanai to work with Tokita and ensure they find the devices. She visits Tokita's office and tells him she feels Himuro is also a victim. She concludes that since Himuro knows what harm this device possesses, why will he risk himself by using the device for an extended period? However, Tokita didn't share her opinion. He believes that Himuro did it due to jealousy. Konakawa gets a call from Paprika, so Shima calls Chiba to visit her in Paprika's personality. Paprika meets Konakawa at a dream bar they met. They go to watch a movie in the cinema, and they analyze Konakawa's dream. Meanwhile, Tokita keeps thinking about Chiba's words, so he decides to invade Himuro's dreams to talk to him. He puts the DC Mini on both of them and he joins Himiro's dreams. He asks Himiro if he did what he did due to jealousy or other reasons. He notices Himiro isn't talking. Instead, it's the words of the other people in the dream. He eventually figures Himiro is a victim of another person's vision. Tokita and Himiro have been transformed into a complex dream, and they rush into the cinema to join Konakawa and Paprika's conversation. Paprika figures out what's wrong and tries to bring back Tokita to no avail. She returns to her Chiba personality and calls for Shima immediately. At the office, they realize that Tokita and Himiro are in a coma. They figure that the thief is using Himiro and Tokita is locked in his dreams too. Chiba decides to save them, so she changes into her Paprika's personality and enters the dream despite Shima's warning that she might get stuck too. In the dream, she finds Tokita and tries to wake him up, but she can't. A root starts chasing her, but Shima brings her back through the machine. They figure out that their device has been compromised. In real life, Shima and Chiba visit the director's home in the rain. As they enter, they ask him if he is the one who stole the device. He calls himself the protector of dreams and expresses that science is trying to destroy dreams, and he will always protect dreams by destroying scientists. Suddenly, he stands up from his wheelchair and turns out he is the root chasing Paprika. Real life gets intertwined with dreams as Paprika appears at Inui's home and Osanai starts chasing her. It is revealed that Osanai works for Inui and he is the one exposing their research. Meanwhile, at the facility, Shima tries to wake Chiba. In the dream, Paprika runs away from Osanai and insults Osanai by calling him a coward. She is captured by Osanai, who ties her to a table and tries to molest her. He tells her he loves her and uses his hands to touch her. As he feels underneath her clothes, he tears off Paprika's personality and touches Chiba's breast, screaming that he loves her. Suddenly, Inui shows up under Osanai's skin and strangles Chiba. Osanai begs him to please leave Chiba. He tells him he loves Chiba so much, but Inui isn't ready to take any betrayal. He keeps strangling Osanai. Meanwhile, at the dream bar, Konakawa stays there waiting for Paprika. He tells the attendants that he isn't drunk and he knows he is in a dream world. He goes to the cinema and watches Osanai molesting Paprika. He goes nearer to the screen and struggles to enter Inui's dream. He enters while Osanai and Inui fight for their decision. Konakawa carries Chiba, who is now on the floor, and tries to run with her. Osanai chases him, so he runs into his usual anxiety dream and shoots at Osanai. As he shoots, they all awake in real life, and the bullet fired in the dream affects Osanai and Inui in reality. When they think they have ended the world of dreams, they realize their dream world is now mixed into their natural world. All the trucks Inui controls in the dream are now walking around in the street. The bartenders from Konakawa's dream appear in real life, and Paprika comes out of Chiba. They all attempt to kill the mastermind Inui, who is now filled with his delusions. Paprika commands them to follow her and run, but Chiba sees Tokita. She stops following Paprika and tries to wake Tokita up from the robot he is inside. Rather than waking up, Tokita swallows Chiba. Paprika and Shima leave Chiba alone and continue their journey. Tokita attempts to attack them, but Konakawa pushes Tokita to the wall. Inside Tokita, Chiba drags him out of his subconscious mind, just like she dragged him from the elevator. Unfortunately for them, Inui revives himself. This time, he is a giant who controls dreams and death. To defeat Inui, Paprika enters the robot and returns as a young girl. She sucks out all of Inui's dreams and eventually swallows him. As she takes the dreams, she grows taller and taller until she becomes a combination of Chiba and Paprika. As she does, she fades away. Later, Tokita wakes up from his coma and sees Chiba by his bed. He tells her he had a great dream and she admits her dream was great too. Shima sees Konakawa off and Konakawa complains that Paprika has dumped him. He smiles and tells Konakawa that Paprika will surely come back. At the ending scene, Konakawa logs into the dream website again, and the attendants give him a letter from Paprika. In the letter, she tells him Atsuko will change her surname to Tokita and advises him to watch the movie Dreaming Kids. Konakawa enters a cinema to watch Dreaming Kids as the movie ends. Kindly subscribe to my channel to get notified when we post the next recap.